Well, you know we're about to announce the winners of Colorado's Best Dream Wedding, and they'll be married in just 4 short months. So we wanted to know if there are any laws or legal issues couples might face before or after they're married. So here with the answers, attorney Phil Harding from Harding and Associates. And before we get to that, I just had to brag on you just a little bit because this just came out. All right, this is the Super Lawyers edition, and right here in the middle, look, picture right there, Phil Harding, a super lawyer. It's just very impressive because for 5 years in a row, you've been named as a top 100 attorneys, and here you are, a super lawyer for what, the second or third or fourth year in a row?
Correct,
so,
yes,
way
thank
to go.
you.
That's awesome.
Well, thanks.
That's awesome. So we told you, you know, we had this whole marriage theme going today, and so, you know, how does that fit into the whole legal scheme of things?
Well, it's interesting. I was talking to people yesterday. I said I'm going to do a segment on marriage, and so what do you think about when you think of marriage and the law?
Prenups is usually what comes to my
mind.
And
everyone thinks about prenuptials, and they go into that, but really, we don't want to talk about a preemptive strike on destroying the relationship, the marital relationship. We want to talk about what rights people have when they are married, and especially if they are injured. And so what we want to talk about, and it's called a loss of consortium claim.
Okay, and is this whether you're married officially in a ceremony or whether you're considered common law? Is there a difference in that?
Well, no, both of them are the same in the eyes of the law, whether you're married through a ceremony or if you have a common law marriage. And so, you know, it's been 10 years since I've done any domestic cases, and that's what attorneys call essentially a marriage or a divorce or something like that. A domestic. And I'm going to give you a short thing. Let's talk about if someone is common law married. First of all, does the couple hold themselves out to be married? In other words, you introduce someone as this is my wife or my husband. Do they have the intent to be married? In other words, they really feel like they're married. And then finally, and most importantly, do they cohabitate? And all of these domestics, since it's been in a while, we don't do those, but a nice friend of mine, Leslie Matthews, gave me these things. Now, besides this, there's another thing that I want to talk about, and I want to talk about essentially, besides those 3 tests, what you can look at to see if someone is common law married. And there are some telltale signs to look at, and so let's look at that. First of all, filing of a joint tax return. That's almost a slam dunk that they're married. The other one is documents listing couples as spouses, including, let's say, titles to the house, to the car, and other things. Listed as spouses on the title or under health insurance. Now, then if you have to have a hearing, you can go into other people testifying like, wow, they come over to our house all the time and they introduce themselves as husbands and wife.
Right, you have lots of witnesses who can attest to that. Okay.
So let's now go into this loss of consortium claim because it is so important, whether you're common law married or whether you're regularly married.
So this is if one of the spouses is injured, what you can get help with.
Yeah, if someone in a personal injury action is injured. And so what happens here is it's called a loss of consortium claim, and in the marital relationship before this, the couple used to do much more fun things. For example, running, camping, going on vacations. Now their schedule is really built around doctor's appointments, and they had to schedule activities not to hurt the individual more, and even everything is affected, the sexual relationship, all of that, and that's what a loss of consortium claim goes into and talks about. And it's important to know that most people miss this claim.
I was going to say, do people even know to make that kind of claim when their spouse has been hurt in a personal injury case?
A lot of people miss that, and that's why we're talking about it here and why we're talking about it's important for the marital relationship, because this may put a strain on the marital relationship.
Sure.
You know, the last thing is you need to know that if you ever settle a claim and you are married, the insurance company is going to make not only you but your spouse sign on the release. So why not get some money for that? Why not talk about the loss of consortium? And you know, there are things that you can look at to help this loss of consortium. For example, preserve evidence. Write down what additional work the spouse, the non-injured spouse, had to do. Did you have to hire anyone? For example, the husband used to go out and take care of the yard. Now someone has to hire. They had to hire someone to come in and do that. How this injury has changed your plans, your vacation plans or others. Did the injury affect your relationship in all ways? And also, it's good to give examples, because remember, when an attorney is presenting this either to a jury or to someone else, specific examples help people relate one-on-one with you and help go into and understand each day, this is what happened, and what is that worth, and what's that claim worth?
And you always remind us to keep a journal or a diary of these things as you go, because you can forget, as time goes on, and some of these cases can go a long time.
Right. And not only the individual who is injured, keeping a pain log as to how that's going on, what doctor's appointments they went to, but the injured spouse right in there. We were planning on going to Hawaii. We weren't able to do it.
Right.
So.
All right, this is good stuff. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Yeah. Now, if you have any legal questions for Phil, he wants to hear from you. You can go to our website, coloradosbest.tv. Look for his photo there. His photo is everywhere. It's in these magazines called Super Lawyers. It's in the top 100, and it's on coloradosbest.tv. You can submit your legal questions. He takes the time to answer them all personally. He might even address your question right here on Colorado's Best. And if you'd like to contact Phil at his office directly at Harding & Associates, call 303-762-9500 or go to hlaw.org. Well, coming up,